Oh no, we're dead.
I'm hopping out. Bro!
This is the unbelievable true story of how I revived my favorite dead game that literally died 2 separate times despite all odds. Imagine this, every day after work, you boot up your PC, hop in Discord with the boys, and you already know the plan. You knew exactly what you were going to do and what you were going to play for the night. Super People. A game that scratched an itch no shooter before it had ever been able to quite do. The movement was crisp, the abilities were downright wild, and the gunplay was super satisfying.
Nice.
Crafting in game gave you a dopamine overload that kept the boredom away and kept you moving from place to place, always trying to upgrade your loot in the middle of a map. And over 4 million people were playing it in the beta with an estimated 10 million unique users over the course of its lifetime. And then one day, just like that, it was gone. Servers offline, devs vanished, the team dissolved, funding was pulled, and it seemed like a game that had unlimited potential was gone and would never ever return. Or so we thought. The game's decline happened 2 different times. Once when it was Super People 1, with a horribly timed release between Overwatch 2 and Warzone 2, with a large amount of bad balancing issues that ultimately destroyed the player base. The second time was Super People 2, which was a revamped version of the same game, but with new mechanics and promising movement. However, they did remove crafting, which was not a good idea, and they also had bad balancing as well, amongst a variety of issues. If you were curious about why the game failed, I do have a 20-minute video here on YouTube that explains everything in deep detail, along with a big document explaining it all, so go check that out later if you're curious. But anyways, the player base did not instantly disappear, it was a slow and steady decline. However, Super People 2's downfall was even faster than the first time around because many people had given the game a second chance, and upon returning, they were disappointed that much of what was promised to change ended up being very much the same. It got worse and worse to the point where you couldn't even really queue a game unless you were doing third person on Asian servers because NA and EU had all but abandoned the game. A few months before we got to this horrible point where we were on the verge of the game shutting down entirely, I did make the video The Rise and Fall of Super People, breaking down all the issues and how we could fix it, and I started the Save Super People hashtag, hoping that people would use it and we could somehow drum up support for some actual change in the game's development path. Sadly, at the time, it did not get that much momentum, but little did I know this would be the first domino that would end up bringing everything back. But at the time, most everyone had given up hope, a lot of the partners were quitting playing, and I was left alone being one of the few partners remaining that were actually trying to play the game, and even I was about to give up. And this was even further driven home when we saw this announcement from one of the admins of Super People named Master. So we were met with this message from Master. Our final maintenance was on May 12th, 2023. And then about 2 weeks later, we got hit with this announcement on May 23rd, 2023, talking about the shutdown of the game. The TLDR of it all was if we just kept losing players, and despite them trying to make patches, they just couldn't do it. The player base kept going down. They were shutting it down on August 21st. They were just said that, since the Battle Royale, the number of users decrease, the match time increases, and the match cannot be fair, and it can't provide the fun that we want. So they have to shut it down, which makes sense. And here's the crazy thing that not a lot of people know. About 6 months before the game actually got to this point, I made that 25-page long document on everything wrong with the game and how to fix it based off my own feedback, 1,000 hours in the game, and then all the community members that watched my stream and gave their feedback. And I sent it to the dev team, and most of the dev team, if not all of them, read that entire page. I had about 20, 30 people in the Google Doc at one time reading it, and they all agreed. I got hit back from a couple of the devs saying like, oh, thank you, like I totally agree with you. We want to support the community, but literally they just were not allowed to take the time they needed to ship these patches. So the devs were not necessarily the bad guys here. It was a handful of upper management from Nexon and some other people that just were not letting them push out these patches the way they needed and just kept forcing stuff before it was done, which caused a lot of issues. And then to make things worse, this was the nail in the coffin that really made everyone disheartened. So when this announcement came out, a lot of people were wondering if the game was going to come back because the Steam page kept getting updated. And then we got this message from Enrico, aka Ryko. Him and I were in private DMs for a bit. He's one of the admins for the Super People Discord. We were talking about how the game might be coming back and how he had some sources. 6 months later, after the shutdown announcement, he hit us with this one. We have some disappointing news regarding the game we all love, Super People. It appears that Wonder People decided to fully terminate the game, disregarding the community for its desire to return Super People 1 closed beta test, back to like the OG days. After nearly 2 years of silence, they announced a different project, a zombie extraction shooter game that completely lacks the support and interest of our community. So this is where it all came full circle. So I was talking to Raikou through all this time, talking about the Save Super People hashtag and like what we could do. And when he found out that the new game was being launched, he decided, he made the charge, this is our final moment to shine. And he DM'd me and he said, yo, I'm gonna announce this, like tell everyone you know. And the plan was to use the Save Super People hashtag on their Steam community discussion page, which if you look right now, if you go to page 18, like every single thing was Save Super People. It was so incredible to see. And not only did we spam all of the reviews, but we also joined the World of the Dead Discord. So I'm already in here, but if you look at the Save Super People in the top right here, like I'll move this over so you can see it better. Yeah, we had hundreds and hundreds of messages just going through. This is just one page. There's like 24 pages of this, bro. There's so many pages of us talking about Save Super People, Save Super People, Save Super People. And we just kept bombarding them and bombarding them. And keep in mind, he sent out this message to about 30,000 people. So between my video, a couple of other creators that were making similar stuff, and then this, we had about 50,000 people up in arms ready to go. And it worked. But we weren't sure how long it was going to take, so we just kept doing it. And we did make it very clear, like, we were not trying, see, it was not like a review bomb. We weren't trying to fill it with negative reviews, but we were 100% trying to drive home the point, like, hey, there's still a massive community that loves this game. Please bring it back. And that's exactly what happened. So if you look at when Raikou launched the campaign from the Save Super People hashtag on October 6th, if you scroll down, October 16th, 10 days later, he put out an announcement, I'm not home, Super People 1 is coming back, our voices are heard. And it was officially announced. So that was like, many months ago, and then we're like, oh, it's coming back, but when? And then we got the announcement recently, oh, it's coming in June, and then it officially came, and now it's June 18th at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Super People is officially coming back. There will be some changes, some of them more controversial than others. I'll save that for another video, but it is coming back. So make sure if you have not already, head on over to Super People on Steam, put it on your wish list, give it a follow, and request early access so you don't miss out. It's only going to be an 8-day playtest period. Now it's finally coming back. It's so crazy because like I made that hashtag Save Super People post in the video like over 2 years ago, and it only got like a couple thousand views. I was like, damn, dude, like we're cooked. We failed. And then Raikou was able to come in and really rally the community behind the hashtag, and we brought the game back. Absolutely legendary. And that is how we saved Super People, my favorite battle royale of all time. Be there June 18th. Tell all your homies. Let's make sure we don't end up with another dead game.